Hey, this is Mike.
Hey, this is Kaz, and you were listening to Two Broke Watch Snobs. You have made it all the way to episode, I wrote it down, 281. Hello, Michael, hello.
We're back in practice, back in business. Last time we were a little rusty after a break, but that was one for one.
That was
On the
one for
intro.
one. I
Yeah.
dig it. I'm into it. This is going to be a ton of fun. We're going to do things a little bit different on this episode today. We're going to try to streamline it to just get to the main topic as fast as possible. If you've clicked on this episode, or if you've just for some reason walked into the wrong room, you don't really know what we're talking about. Episode 281 of the Two Broke Watch Snobs podcast is in defense of the shitter watch. I think we've danced around this topic of a shitter watch for a while, and so really what I want to do, or what we want to accomplish with this episode, is first, what do we mean when we say shitter watch? I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the idea of a shitter watch being relative. One man's shitter is another man's
Treasure.
treasure, depending on what's happening. And then when I get into specifics, I want to call out. Michael and I are each going to call out some interesting shitter watches in our collection. But we have to honor tradition. We should do a wrist check. I'll go first. I'm going to do a streamlined wrist check.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah.
new streamlined wrist check. I'm I guess kind of sort of in honor of the episode. This watch is going to come back. I'm wearing my first ever automatic watch, the Seiko SNK. I can't remember if it's 805 or 803 or 807. It's the green one.
I've given up on Seiko references. They make no sense to me or memorize. I've given up on references altogether.
You know, the green one. Yeah. No, I got the green one.
It's the green little piloty Seiko 5. That was...
And I'm wearing it on an ostrich leather strap that I got from another watch that I bought on Reddit a long time ago. But that's what I'm wearing. And this is a very special watch to me. I love it.
You've had that strap longer than some watches.
I love this strap.
That strap has been
18 millimeters. I can't really put it on a lot of watches, but I freaking love the strap. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing for episode 281. You know what's funny? What happened to the rest of it? What do you do with the rest of the ostrich? Do you make a like soup out of it? Like, what do you do with the? It's a 6-foot flightless bird. There's more than just the 6 inches of skin they carved out of its ass. I'm not entirely sure. What do you do with the rest of it?
I know something about watch straps though, and I have it on good authority that one ostrich equals one strap. If you're going to make a strap out of it.
Yeah, a tremendous amount of waste. If you're interested in getting an ostrich watch strap, just know you're part of the problem. All right. That's my wrist check. What do you got?
So I'm gonna share it. This is the happiest day of my life doing this topic.
Ooh, right. Oh, I know what it is. I immediately know what it is.
Yeah. So what inspired this episode for me was this watch that I randomly bought. So this is. I'm finding out the name right now. It is and I did not pay this, by the way. I paid even less. So this is the Ben-Yar. I don't know what.
I think this is one of those Amazon brands, like just random Amazon watch brands you see.
The 1659. I don't know if discover your. Okay, I guess it's just
discover your new style is part of the name. I imagine
I did discover my new style with this watch, but this is, if you can probably guess that it's an homage to a ceramic bezel Rolex Daytona. The funny thing about this watch is that the chronograph seconds hand is actually one of these subdials, and the constant, just normal seconds, is the center one. So it was one of the weirdest. It was one of the weirdest things. Actually. I think my dog is trying to get into the office, but that's fine. Yeah, and the fun thing about this is that apparently this brand is a sub brand of. Gosh, who is? I'll have to think about it later. But they are a sub brand of an homage brand.
Oh my god!
I forget what it's called now. So it's like a meta shitter.
That's super meta. All right, yeah, I'm into it.
But I like the way it wears. Is it actually
ceramic? I was going to ask you. Is it actually?
No,
or is it just like spray painted tinfoil?
I think it's glossy paint. It's so bad, dude. When you pull the crown out to set the time,
right.
Something happens where the hands they loosen up. So if you pull the crown out and you move the watch,
Oh my
the
God.
hands just kind of with gravity start moving around, and you're trying to find like the minute you want to set it to, and you can't because they're just flopping. It's
That's really good.
it's so good in such a bad way. This watch, and it just really the inspiration for me for tackling this topic.
What did you pay for it? If you didn't pay $62.35 or whatever that
I think
was
it was
on the website.
closer. I think it was closer to 40. I can probably pull up my Amazon, not on the screen, so you can see all the weird stuff that I buy, but stuff on Amazon.
And just to answer everyone's questions, because some people do ask us, yes, we can see what you buy with our Amazon affiliate link. I'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No judgment. I'm just saying we can see it.
Yeah, $40. Yeah, 43.91.
I mean, and you're having fun with it, right?
It's fancy looking. So we'll get into some of the utility, but like it's just a cheap, fancy looking watch, and that's something that people look for when they're buying, when they're trying to get into watches. Like I don't really care about the history or movements or anything. I have to look fancy every once in a while, and I'll do it with a cheap watch. And this watch definitely does that. So
it's a similar idea with you could do something similar with cars. There's some people who are really into cars, and there's this passion that extends to what's under the hood and all the stuff with the engine, and I don't really know, like tires. I don't know anything about cars. But then there's just people who want to buy a nice car because it looks nice, or a car that isn't necessarily expensive or luxury because it maybe looks really nice. You know what I mean? They don't really care about how ethically the sapphire was harvested for the crystal. I have no idea. Like they just want like a cool looking thing, and so I think that's the interesting spot where shitter watches fit in. But that's a good wrist check.
I love that this episode is happening.
This is what it's all been leading to. This is our purpose. This is actually the Two Broke Watch Snobs' purpose, is to do this episode. That's what it's all
We've
about.
spent too long talking about watches that are like $5,000 and thinking, oh yeah, it's a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal, you know.
We need to come back down to earth in the most extreme way possible.
Well, let's do this. Let's talk about what a shitter watch is. And so I think I don't know how often people use this idea of like saying what a shitter watch is, but to me, when I hear shitter watch, it's exactly what we've been talking about. This idea of something super cheap. Maybe it looks nice, maybe it doesn't, but it's more often than not, and this is actually an interesting interpretation. If you're wearing a shitter watch, you know it's a shitter watch, or at least not like the nicest watch ever, but you like the idea of it looking nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's a watch that you don't care if anything bad happens to it.
Yeah,
it's a shitter watch.
Yeah. This is, I mean, if you're like this Benyar, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but like it looks like something you might get mugged for. Hopefully I never get mugged.
Can you imagine getting mugged for a $40 watch? How fucking dumb are they going to feel when they go to sell that thing? Bro, look, it's a Daytona.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can get into it, but it does mean different things for different people. And I think that especially if you've been into watches for a little bit and you have some corner of passion in the hobby, be it like Soviet wristwatches or military wristwatches, and you sometimes you just want to have fun. And for some people that's buying a rainbow Daytona, I'm just having fun. But for the rest of us, it's like I'm gonna. Is it a gag watch? Also, is it kind of a gag in a way?
Well, I think if you mentioned the idea of fun, I think that's actually a really good thing to call out. There is also an extension of the shitter watch, which is just fun. I'm gonna buy a Timex Snoopy, like Weekender, because it's fun. Like, you can hear all the Weekender jokes. Oh, I can hear it ticking from across the room. I don't give a fuck. It's fun.
Yeah,
So I think
Yeah.
there's the I don't know if I would call it a gag watch, but I definitely think there's an element of fun with you and your Benyar, or I mean sometimes Y's or G's depending on where in the world you are. I don't really know.
Mm,
So it could be like Bengar or Bengar.
yeah.
Benyar. I have no fucking idea, bro. We're just a couple of Florida boys
Yeah.
trying to decipher this brand's name. But there's even with you and your Benyar, it is a gag watch in the sense that you've bought it as this sort of satirical jab of look how bad this Daytona homage is. It's an homage. It's sub brand of an homage.
Yeah.
It's like off brand clearance bin. You know what I mean? But that feeds into the idea of it being a very fun watch. Maybe you could call it a gag watch. I don't really know, but I think what's integral to the idea of the shitter watches is that it doesn't take itself too seriously. I think that actually is kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Can we give mad props to Archie Luxury?
Yeah.
We would not. We stand on the shoulders of giants.
I just yeah, this fine gentleman here. This is we would not be where we are today.
I can't. I should have brought my inhaler. Archie Luxury, if you don't know, if you're new to the watch world, or if you got kicked in the head and forgot or something, he was a pretty volatile watch personality back in the day. Back in the day, where a lot of people were pretty polished, and there's this idea of a watch being this refined thing. Here comes Archie fucking Luxury, just screaming and cursing, making you feel bad for watch choices you made. Hello, fuckers. Like, it was pretty polemic back in the day. I don't know what he's doing now. I'm sure he's doing something, but he was always like shitter watches would be a very common thing you'd hear him say, but he would say it about things that weren't shitter watches.
Yeah. He'd be pretty adamant about staying away from them, and he might say that about a Frederic Constant. I'm gonna keep this photo up for as long as I can.
Please take it down. I can't focus.
I like how it just popped up. That was great.
I'm gonna look up.
I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this framed.
I'm on the escalator at the mall. I'm just gonna look down. I'm just gonna look down until it's over. All right, it's over. You're good.
That was fun, but yeah, I think it became a term. Kind of an endearing term for me to like. Oh yeah, like I'll call this watch a shitter, but it's not really. It's actually a pretty good watch. But yeah, I think he's pretty anti-shitter. I don't know if he'd agree with a lot of this episode.
He probably
being
would,
honest,
but he's not here right now, so
that's okay. He was here.
That's okay.
In a very dramatic way for a quick second.
Just for a quick moment, he was here. But I think so it's just interesting to just put that out there. When we're talking about shitter watch, a lot of the idea around it and a lot of just the commonality or like the normalcy of using shitter watch came from all the content that Archie Luxury was putting out back in the day. But I think, yeah, his interpretation of it and our interpretation is going to be very, very different. So, actually, Archie Luxury brings up a really good point. Also, the other aspect of the shitter watch, and I was telling Michael a funny story, and I'll kind of repeat it now, is a shitter watch is relative. Michael and I are talking about this in our before we were recording. A Rolex Datejust, some people would call a shitter watch because you couldn't afford the Submariner.
Yeah,
but like that's the shitter Rolex. I think, especially as we kind of continue the conversation and when we get into more specific watches that we will call shitter watches, it's entirely possible we might be like, oh yeah, look at this watch, it's totally like a shitter. It's in like an ironic like way, but you're just like, my grandfather stormed Normandy and he fought to get me that watch when he came home. I'm like, how dare you? It's like, I don't know, dude. It's relative. You know what I mean?
That was kind of an attitude back when Rolex was, pretty not easy to get, but straightforward in the way of purchasing. Where like, yeah, you would get somebody would get the Datejust and then other people would think like, oh, this is the only one he could afford. Or even the no date Submariner, like, oh, you can afford the one with the date. You got the shitter. Look at this guy, which is crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, I was I won't tell the story on the. It's a work story. I told Michael the work story, but I don't want to repeat it on here. It has to do with Rolexes, but yeah. So I just want to share that because if you have an idea of in your mind of what a shitter watch is, and if we start talking about watches and it doesn't match that, we don't care. Don't tell us. Just turn the show off. It's fine.
That
know
works.
What I mean?
Yeah,
that works. That works. I think Frederic Constance or not. I like Frederic Constance. I think that's actually. I mean,
I think they've definitely especially in the past few years with some of the movement stuff that they've done, and but they had an uphill battle to climb, because I think folks thought of them as this weird mall brand, and maybe a lot of the imagery that they tried to market at the time looked like what a brand would be doing to make themselves look older and more established. I think even the logo looks like Vastron Constantine.
A little bit,
almost.
Actually does, yeah.
So they got a lot of criticism there.
For a long time, they were also really hammering home this idea of affordable luxury. Another that another brand would charge you $40,000 for will only charge you $10,000 for, or something like that. And I think that's another aspect of like a shitter watch. This idea that, if it's affordable, it's a shitter. Or if you're trying to get the affordable version of something, it's the shitter. And I guess that feeds into the Rolex date just v Submariner or Submariner date / no date thing. But that's pretty interesting. So wait, so you got your Benyar, you bought it for $40. Yeah. Do you know what's really, you're probably going to keep that. Right?
Yeah, I'm not going to auction it off, for charity.
Well, it's just funny because like in my mind, if I have, a quote unquote shitter watch, in your and my world, it's going to be something we probably didn't spend a lot of money on. Mm-hmm. You're almost more inclined to keep it because you don't really have a financial incentive to flip it. What am I going to get? $15? And then I got to pay $7 to ship it.
I'll keep it, and the fact that it, it does a good job from a purely aesthetic standpoint. I think it looks good. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going somewhere and I don't want to, I don't feel like taking a Speedmaster out or something, or I don't think it looks good with the outfit or the jacket or whatever, but it's a place where a nice watch could find a nice place, nice looking watch.
Right.
I'd probably wear that. Or I think actually one thing that I did with this, I took it with me the last time that I went to Miami, because it looks like kind of a Miami type watch, right?
I could see that. Yeah.
I just had it's kind of a little fun that I just had for myself, thinking.
And if you're walking into a store and someone's walking out and you hold the door for them and your watch flashes for a second, they'll probably be like, "Oh, sweet, that was cool. I just saw Daytona."
Possibly, yeah. Or you'd have somebody think, like, which has never really been a concern of mine, to have people think that I have a Daytona, but it does make you look twice. I was surprised by the bezel when I first got it, because it does a better job than I thought it would, capturing that sort of glossy ceramic look, even though it's clearly not. And it's
probably nail polish, honestly.
Yeah, that might be it. Some kind of weird lacquer paint thing.
Yeah.
I've never screw down pushers, by the way.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Screw down pushers. I'm not going to mess with them too much.
That's actually kind of impressive on a $40 watch.
I mean, I'm not gonna have too much faith in these pushers. I haven't submerged this watch at all. If the hands behave the way they do when
a really good
crown out. But it's quartz. It keeps good time. It's got the dumb, what is it? The the 24-hour subdial.
The very controversial quartz chronograph, 24-hour subdial.
But yeah, $40, and it's just a ton of fun. And I guess I like that I'm at a point in this hobby where I haven't been trying to follow any kind of calculated approach to getting watches. It used to be like, oh, it's got to be the 10. It has to be this box. What fits in this box is
Remember
everything.
driver, diver, flyer? That was a thing, man.
Yeah, I could, and it's still a good exercise. That's still a good idea, but I can't be that guy. Just like I can't be the one watch guy. And this is one of those things where if you have a, I don't know, $50 Amazon gift card just hanging around and you want to just have some fun and you're into watches, I think you can probably find yourself a pretty fun shitter.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
let's start with specific models. I have 3 watches written down here, or rather it's 3 collections. One's very general. I don't know if you had the chance to do the same. Do you have the chance to write down some stuff?
I have something pretty general that I can talk about. Yeah.
I'll go first. I want to. This next section is a love letter for these old 7S26 Seikos. You know what I mean? Okay. These things used to be honestly so affordable. I hate that they're really getting phased out for now. The new 4R movements, they're charging you more now and everything like that. But I think, to me, this is very much a snobbish person's idea of a quote unquote shitter. Most watch folks who will see this watch, they'll be like, oh, that's a ton of fun. Or they themselves will have fond memories because they also bought their first, SNK or whatever from Amazon for, I think I paid like $60 for this watch. But by all measures of bristling neckbeard watch horology scales, it is a quote-unquote shitty watch. It doesn't manual wind. The 726 does not manual wind. It doesn't hack. I certainly wouldn't time anything important with it. You know what I mean? So, but by those things which we nerdily kind of qualify as a high-quality watch, but it has, I think, a certain historical allure which transcends the idea of, is it checking off these? Is it a sapphire crystal? Is it a blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean? No, it doesn't check any of those boxes. You're
not going to use it to time the rocket booster burn on Apollo 13, right?
No, I'm not going to. No. If it's what is it? What can you do in 13 seconds? I mean, I don't really know how long 13 seconds is with this watch. I don't know how long it's going to be. With this watch, truthfully, you know what I mean? I wouldn't time anything anyone's life depended on with this watch.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's not going to turn heads at a Red Bar nerdy meetup type place.
I might get some affectionate nods or just being like, oh wow, man, great value, which is the most insulting thing I think anyone's ever said to me about a watch. Because I've had people say it to me all the time. I've had people say it to me when I've worn this watch. I've had people say to me when I've worn the Christmas chrono, they're like, oh yeah, this is great value. It's like, why don't you just go fuck yourself, dude?
Some people will say that about your Grand Seiko. Great value.
You're totally right. You're totally right. Great value. My Grand Seiko's a shitter. In the whole spectrum of Grand Seikos, it's probably not it's not the one that people think of. It's not spring drive.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a cool GMT or one of the really cool cherry blossom dials, one of the 100,000 seasons they have in Japan or something like that. It's just a sort of teal watch,
Yeah.
So we should probably stop making fun of the seasons in Japan thing. I think I think a lot of those dials also extend to notions of weather. Feelings. This is rain dropping on this lake, And that watch is raindropping on that different lake. I was like, all right, fucking okay. So this is water flowing in water, but that's fine.
I mean, they're all beautiful.
They're
but
gorgeous.
It is really it is really funny to see after a
You
while.
could call them fucking Gundam dials. I don't give a shit. They're fucking really cool looking.
Ooh, a Gundam Grand Seiko would be off the chain.
Send me royalties, Grand Seiko. All right. I better not see a goddamn Gundam dial. Grand Seiko Gundam dial spring drive. That makes me coffee and eggs in the morning. But no, my Grand Seiko is in the spectrum of Grand Seiko watches a shitter. It's one of the more quote unquote affordable, quote unquote less impressive ones out there. So, but for me, the 7S26, I very much. I think we did. Did we do the last watch we'd ever sell? Do you remember that episode? We did an episode like the last watch we'd ever sell or something like that, or like.
Oh, I'm sure we did. Yeah,
I'm fairly certain this is the last watch I would like. I would never sell this watch.
Yeah,
because this is.
I can see that.
This is the one that defined so much of how I see myself and how I saw my taste evolving. I mean, just putting it on when we were getting ready to record, it felt amazing. I'm like, oh yeah, I should stop trying to chase this feeling outside of my watch box because it's already there. You know,
that might be like the first watch we talked about, just
probably
before a podcast.
Yeah, no, I know I got this watch because of you.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Crazy. Telling you. But no, I think the 7S26, the whole iteration of 7S26 movements that they're still there now, but they're expensive because I don't think technically I don't think that's in production anymore. You can still find Seikos with the 7S26 movements, but they're not in production. They're getting less and less easily findable out there, and you're now the entry level Seiko movement in the Seiko 5 line. Is the 4Rs, the 4R movements. So
yeah, funny to think about.
So,
well, I'm gonna go deep.
Yeah, let's do it. What are we doing?
I'm gonna go deep for a second. So this is just bear with me.
Yeah, man.
So I'm just gonna talk about the Amazon skeleton watch. This is a
really good one. Yeah.
This is a tribe of shitters.
Yeah.
And
I think fucking gaggle, a murder of shitters. All right.
And I think I want to approach this going back to, it might be something that you buy, and I'm going to defend these things. Mm-hmm. You might be hardcore dive watch guy. Right. And you have just divers and sporty chronos, and the idea of anything on leather is just icky to you. I guess I'm kind of describing myself, but
I was gonna say I'm like turn the mirror around, Michael. You got to turn around, dude.
But life sometimes calls for a good skeleton watch, right? And if you want, you can get yourself an IK. Man, these names.
Yeah, dude.
IK coloring. Best is misspelled. There's a typo in best.
Did someone write this in the dark with a fucking Ouija board? Like, what is this description, dude?
Moon phrase. Oh, dude, this might be my next purchase.
Everyone go and buy this watch. Go and buy this specific Ouija board fucking titled watch. All right?
But if you look, the funny thing is, I could go somewhere.
It looks impressive.
I know, right? Strutting around in my Omega Speedmaster or whatever. Nobody would know. But I think if you're a person that, let's say you're into style and fashion and, dressing for the occasion and, accessorizing to the point where you match everything up. And, if you're that kind of person, or let's say you even work in that field, fashion, all this kind of stuff, and you're mingling and everything, and you're the kind of person that, sometimes you like to take a compliment. I don't know how to take a compliment. It's a huge character flaw of mine. But I guarantee that this watch is going to do that way more than something like a Speedmaster.
Yeah.
You know, just like the average person will probably look at a Benyar or this, whatever this is,
IK
and say like,
coloring.
hey, nice watch, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I think. That's what I think these are good for. I don't know if any of these complications work. I don't know.
Well, let's break it down. There's the facade of a moon phase,
Yeah.
right? There's appears to be a tourbillon, right?
Yeah, but it can't be. This thing is definitely.
It's just like Google has just like stickered an image of a tourbillon on there.
This thing is definitely quartz, right? Or like a super cheap.
No, this looks mechanical.
Welcome to Gute brand men's fully automatic mechanical. Yeah, this is
mechanical. The gears that you're seeing are real. Gold accents, waters in 30 meters, double dome mineral glass.
mineral. Come on, guys.
I'm paying 60.
Oh yeah, there you
mother
go.
humping dollars.
It's something. I don't know what it is. It has pushers. I don't know what they do. Dude, I have
the
to buy
image.
this watch.
Hold on, go back to the image at the top.
This one here? Oh, there's no pushers.
There's no pushers.
Okay. So something.
This is the listing that keeps on giving. All right.
Yeah. Maybe this is just about them, right? About Gute.
Goot. I don't know. This is
great.
I know what I'm spending $60 on. As soon as the show is over.
Oh, there's
can you go to the user reviews? Has anyone taken an actual photo of this watch?
Well, let's see. There are some videos. I hope it doesn't play loud or anything. So, do you see this?
I do.
Yeah, it's got some kind of moving tourbillon thing.
I mean, come on now.
Definitely just the balance. But I don't know how you. Yeah.
What is all the other crap?
I don't know. But the skeleton watches, and we've talked about this before. And I think as a kid, when I was just like getting into watches and noticing them and looking at Sky Mall catalogs, you might see something like this, you know, and for some reason in your brain as you're getting into watches and mechanics and all this is like the pinnacle. And I think some people really like this look. Yeah, it does.
It's like the dreamscape in Inception. I don't know when the fuck any of that shit was, but like it looks really cool, like all the buildings and the gongs and shit like that. Like, but it's just this like, bookmark. Dude, this one. This is the one.
Look at this thing. Oh my god,
$270 American dollars.
That's more than I want. And look, you can pair it with his outfit. There you go.
I mean, that's a look.
I can be this guy for $270. Whoa.
But no, the skeleton watch thing. These are actually really great. Now this bucks a little bit against how we were qualifying a skeleton watch in the beginning, because someone could buy this not with the idea that it's fun. Like, oh, this is my nice watch, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But like, I can see. So this is someone would not be their shitter watch, but to jaded pieces of shit like you and I, we're looking at these things and we're like, what the fuck? What are these watches?
I don't know if I could defend this one. I'm more of an
IK coloring,
coloring man myself.
I know. I'm getting you for Christmas.
Oh my god! Please don't.
I'm going to buy you all of page 1 on the skeleton watch Amazon listing. If I'm doing rough math here, what am I into it? I'm into maybe about $1,500. I'll spend $1,500 to send you. Oh no, that's a Hamilton. Wait, that's a fake Hamilton. That's a fake ass Hamilton.
Which one?
Go back up, right there, second one in. That's a fake ass Hamilton.
Oh, this thing here.
Yeah. How funny is that?
Yeah, I mean, here's a super fake Richard Mille from Guess.
$41.
So, that swatch is pretty cool.
That's actually really cool.
So yeah, I don't know.
This is a good one. The skeleton watch.
I can get behind somebody picking up something like this. not even ironically, but just, for the fun of it, or, again, maybe dress watches are not your thing and you want to peacock a little bit for not that much, or look like you're peacocking.
Or you don't know about watches, because I feel like I probably did this. You don't know about watches, but you've seen watches where you see the gears and you just Google like watches with gears showing or something like that. Like, if you really don't know anything about watches, you're gonna learn about a skeleton watch after doing that sort of watch hunt. Or like, you'll Google watch you have to wind, or watch without batteries. So you're like dancing around the idea of the skeleton watch, and that's
sounds like you've researched some of these search habits.
Yeah,
for some reason.
It's for some reason. It's fine. We don't have a piece on skeleton watches on the website. It's fine, But I like the skeleton watch one. It is interesting. It does fit in a weird spot. Actually, my next pick also fits into a very similar spot. Something that a watch person might call a shitter, but something that might actually be, someone's quote unquote like everyday watch.
Okay.
Oh, I shouldn't have set myself up to go next. You're the appropriate thing would be for you to set me up, but that's fine. I'll set my own team.
Sorry, I'm still flabbergasted by the IK coloring.
Yeah, dude,
I'm off my game today.
No, that's pertinent, dude. I'm bag them up, prime one my way, prime one your way. That's great.
Oh,
hell
boy.
Yeah, dude. We'll be IK coloring Eskimo bros. It'll be awesome, right?
I don't want to do that.
Timex Weekender. My next pick for shitter watch, the Timex Weekender, and I've chosen this watch specifically because I used to be very prejudiced against it.
Really? Okay.
I in the early days when I thought a watch aficionado, how can I say this? Actually, this extends beyond just watches. I think there's this connotation of an aficionado or a connoisseur or an enthusiast being defined as one of those terms based on what they hate, or like what they see as a lesser than what's worth their time. You know what I mean? And so I used to think proper watch aficionados thought the Weekender was dumb because you could hear it ticking from across the room. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But I think these things are actually fantastic. They've endured. Obviously, they have a whole line of character watches with the with all the Peanuts characters, all the Charles Schultz's Peanut characters, and everything like that. But I think the Weekender is amazing because it fits a perfect spot for both people who don't know about watches and people who know about watches. If you don't know about watches and you just want to find, if you just Google a simple cloth strap watch because you don't know what a nylon NATO is or any of that crap or anything like that, there's a very high probability you're going to see a Timex Weekender, and there's an even higher probability you're going to buy it because it fits exactly what you're looking for. It's a simple watch. It's not expensive. You can get, you got it on the screen right now. I mean, this one here, $30. I've seen them sometimes even lower than that, depending on what it is. So if you're a watch normalo and you want to get just a simple watch like this that you can wear to work, or you can wear it on the weekend or whatever, Timex Weekender all fucking day. And then it does fill the interesting void of the neck bristling watch nerd who wants an everyday watch that they don't have to necessarily baby or worry too much about, and they don't want to spend too much on it. The Weekender fits into that as well. These things are pretty sweet. In the times that I've handled them, and I've handled several, like, I'm not gonna go swimming in it. I probably wouldn't cook with it on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it's fine for $30 or $40. It looks good. It does what it's supposed to do, but it is, quote unquote, a shitter watch.
I still get happy anytime I see, one of these on somebody's wrist. I'll never forget. I'll never forget. It's similar to the Weekender, but the Easy Reader is another watch in that same vein. And I'm sure I've told the story, but this was before I had the Mako, but I had a very important dinner with my future in-laws and stuff. And I wanted to look nice. So
sure.
On the day of, I went to Target and I bought a Timex Easy Reader, for
damn right,
whatever.
It looks nice. It looks nice in. It looks nice without any of the baggage of, oh, I don't want someone to know it's not a Swiss movement, or like, oh, it's not mineral, or oh, it's not sapphire. What if I scratch the crystal? Like, it's so freeing. I think that's the good thing about shitter, quote unquote, shitter watches. It's so freeing to just buy a watch because
Yeah,
you think it'll look good or it'll fulfill a purpose and it'll be fun. You know,
exactly.
especially in a store. Holy crap! Like, how often? You know what I mean? Like, who buys watches in stores? And I'm sure plenty of people do, but I think most people are buying watches just online.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's one of those that you could pick up again like at a Target, and I don't know. I wouldn't judge you for it. I think they're
Because
pretty
you're a good
cool.
person, Michael, but not everyone's a good person. You know? So I throw the Weekender on there. I think that's one that a lot of snobbish people will see as a shitter, but I think they're I think they're missing out by holding on to hate in their hearts and just not letting themselves have fun. Fun without baggage. That's why I really, really like the Weekender.
A fatal error in this hobby. Not having fun.
It's so funny. Like you have to go through these stages to get back to the stage of just like, I just want to buy watches. I just want to have fun. Like,
Yeah.
you know? So funny. But yeah, that's my second pick.
I like it. I want to talk about these for a second.
Okay. Now it's getting interesting. Tell everyone for those who are listening and not watching, by the way, you should watch the show. We're on YouTube. For everyone that's listening, tell everyone what you're holding up to the screen right now.
This is a Panerai PAM 777. Not a shitter. At least not to me. But
Right.
a lot of people hate that brand. Probably as much as Hublot or something like that.
People hate the brand, and also people who I think are aware of the models, the PAM models. I think they talk shit about that one because that's like my Grand Seiko. It's like on the affordable spectrum of Panerai pieces, right?
Yeah, it's the Luminor base model.
Base. We're only base, Michael. We're just basic.
Yeah, and I don't know. I love those things, but I think again, if I were to ask the Pontiff, Sir Archie Luxury, he probably would he'd be cross with my decision to purchase one of these.
I think it comes from several factors. The idea that the Panerai hate. My understanding is there is a history of, people opening up the watch and it's not the movement, like a high quality movement that they said it was, or they found like issues with it. I think there's also this idea of not hating the watch, but hating the community. There is this like stereotypical like Panerai community that I think people make fun of, and the idea of the Panerai community seems to be more fashion inclined, which in the watch neckbeard world is a no-no. Like, you have to, like, if you're buying a watch for fashion, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you hated kids and wanted to burn them in the streets or something like that. Like, you have to, you're almost looked down upon if you just buy a watch because you think it'll look cool with your outfit, or because you think it's just fun looking. Like, you have to know everything about the watch. How many jewels does it have? What kind of lubricant does it use? Like, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I don't know if anyone actually does that, but like dumb shit that doesn't matter.
I get what
know?
you're saying about the community. When I think of, man, they're gonna come after us.
Do it.
But if
Nothing to lose.
If I try to build an image of the Panerai vibe in my mind, it's the slightly engorged, swollen wrist, with the band on way too tight, fat fingers in the cigar, and all in the same photo. I've seen a lot of Panerai photos like that.
I've seen those. I picture the maybe by a pool or at a beach, and it's just bracelets, like skull bead bracelets, and like the lion head bracelet, and like anchors, and it's just like, what's happening?
we get like an invite to a Panerai event after this. That'd be cool.
That'd be better. I mean, I don't own a Panerai, but I'll go. That's fine. But but no, you're. I think it's interesting to qualify that some people will qualify Panerai as a shitter watch in the whole spectrum of luxury watches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you spent XYZ thousand on a Panerai. Pff, do you know you could have gotten a blah 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 or a Tudor blah blah blah? To be fair, you've had how many Tudors break?
Yeah, I'm downgrading. Okay, if I didn't get those people mad, I'm gonna get other people mad now. But I'm downgrading Tudor to like at least Tudor today, November 2024, to like true shitter, like not fun shitter
fun
status.
Actually legitimate shitter. Yeah.
like to the point where it's like do not recommend.
Because you've had 2 or 3 Tudors break?
I've had 2 with movement failures. Yeah.
How many movement failures have you had on your Panerai?
0.
Well,
and I just had it. I just had it serviced. It was running Kosk, and I took it to the AD to send it out because you have the warranty period where just routine servicing is free or whatever.
Right.
So I thought, okay, it's been, gosh, I got it in 2019.
Wow.
I figured I'll some preventive routine servicing. Why not? If I can do it right now and not pay for it. And the guy like didn't get it. He's like, wait, there's nothing wrong with it. Nope, there's nothing wrong with it. I just want to take care of it.
Routine maintenance.
And it's been great. No issues with the movement. No stopping out of nowhere. No date issue with the GMT, which I'm seeing on the new FXD GMT
we were
already.
Talking about that. That's
talking
right.
About.
Yeah.
Kind of sad. They got to step up their QA game. But yeah, I think to people that have this certain view of collecting, they'll look at a brand like that or Hublot and think like that's not the real deal. That's not the way to go.
That's not the real deal. Yeah.
Because it's this brand or whatever. Now I'll say something about these, which I also had. Do you remember when I had one of these Parnas Panerai homage things?
Yes.
These are pretty bad.
I remember. Yeah, we have Jason did our Just Watches on YouTube for Two Broke Watch Snobs a while back. Did a piece on the Parnas Batman.
I think I might have had this exact one on screen.
Okay,
and
no good.
And that's apparently really bad because I think there are some real vintage Panerai watches that have Marina Militaire on it, and like I don't know, they're pretty good at getting everything looking
like all
authentic.
The details of looking authentically vintage.
And I think at the time when these got popular with just like enthusiasts wanting something cheap, I don't think Panerai has a lot of solid anti-counterfeit measures. Like you get the Omega on the crystal for them, and you get the randomized serial number for Rolex on the inside. I don't know if Panerai does anything. So I've heard that there have been fake Panerais that trick the dealer.
That's funny.
So,
I gotta close my blinds. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Panerai to me is a brand that I don't really care about the baggage that comes with it all that much, or what people think about the brand. So
I'm back.
I'll enjoy my Panerai shitter for as
every
long as
time
I can.
we talk about your Panerai, it makes me want to get one because I wanted one for a long time, and I still think they're cool. The problem is I don't know if I can wear something that big. It's very comfortable. I'm sure after a couple of days I'll be fine with it. I really wanted one of those. What is it? Okay, so if you want to talk about shitters, don't people really hate those Panerai duos, those 40 millimeters? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, people didn't like them because actually Panerai people didn't like anything that went sub 44 millimeters, probably for that reason.
Yeah.
But now they have the submersibles at 42, and they're awesome, and they're expensive. People love them. So
I don't know. If I ever did get a Panerai, I would probably fuck the haters and just get one of those 40 millimeter ones. Or maybe with a 42 if I tried it on and didn't hate it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You
They
know?
might be cheaper. They might be cheaper if you get one used, because I think they're cheaper to begin with the smaller that you go.
Yeah. Usually the worst dish on the menu is not the most expensive. So just get the worst. Just get the worst thing in the restaurant. It should be fine.
Oh man.
I have one more watch I wrote down. It's classic.
What do you
I used to have this watch. I don't have it anymore. I do secretly miss it. But is it cool if I go? I got one more.
Yeah.
We cannot have a conversation about shitter watches and not talk about the Invicta Pro Diver.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready. I love the Invicta Pro Diver. I had one for a while, and what's so funny about this, we have a review on the site. If you Google Invicta Pro Diver, you'll probably find it, or just go to twobrokeWatchSnobs.com and you'll find it there. But the funny thing about that watch is, for a long time, I was on the hunt for a 40 millimeter I put an extra vowel in there. 40 millimeter, yeah, that's my wrist. Submariner case, homage, something. Obviously, I'm not going to buy an actual Submariner. And for a long time, I was looking for that in like the micro brand world. I was trying to find like the perfect micro brand, blah, 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 and like nothing was really fitting the bill. And then I remember I had like a checklist of things I wanted, and eventually at some point I got so frustrated. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the Invicta. And I was so afraid to buy the Invicta because of the stigma attached to it. If you're not familiar, Invicta is a brand that has a lot of people hate the brand because it's essentially sort of the monolithic poster child for the idea of an homage brand. Now they make other watches that aren't homages, like all of the weird Bolt series, which we also have on the website, which are fucking disgusting looking. They look like craters, infected pustules. They look really like from space. They look really fucking gross. But we're not talking about those. We're not talking about the bolts. I'm talking about the it's the second one.
we had to talk about it eventually.
I love it, but I mean, I wanted to focus on the Pro Diver, but yeah, that watch. No, well, that watch is interesting. We could talk about that in another episode. But the Pro Diver. So I was on the hunt for a 40 millimeter Submariner homage case for a long time, and then eventually I just caved, and I'm like, I'll just get the Pro Diver. I got it for a really great price. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was under $100 all day. And this watch is really interesting because, quote unquote, it's a shitter. But then at the same time, if you break it down in terms of specs, it's actually really impressive.
Yeah.
The Invicta Pro Diver Automatic is probably one of the most affordable watches you can get an NH35 movement in, an automatic NH35 movement in. The same movement you can get from other micro brands, and they'll charge you 4 or 5 or 6 times as much, depending on the brand and whatever the hell else is going on in the watch. Obviously, that price is
because we're not Invicta. Because we're not Invicta, we're gonna charge more.
That's funny. Well, obviously, more goes into the price if the micro has like a ceramic blah 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 or a titanium reach around. I have no fucking idea. But like, if I'm just looking at like specs on paper and things and money in my wallet and all that crap, this is hands down the most affordable way to get an NH35 movement in your watch, and it's a really really nice movement. The other reality is this watch wears beautifully. It feels appropriate quality wise for something under $100. Obviously, it doesn't have like a really tight fit and finish feel as like an actual Submariner or something in a similar class as that, but it doesn't need to. It wore really well. The bezel was totally fine. Don't use the loom; you'll die in the dark. But everything else around the loom was great. I thought the watch was fantastic. But it is a shitter in that it is a very, very nice version of another watch, of a copied watch. It's a shittier version of a Submariner, but it's a very nice version of what it's trying to create. And so I encourage folks all the time, if you're at all Invicta Pro Diver curious, if you're at all Invicta curious, just go for it. wait for a Cyber Monday or a Black Friday deal. I've seen these automatic ones before for like under $50, depending on like what promos are happening. You know what I'm saying?
And you can get the quartz one too.
Or you can get the quartz. Yeah, there is a quartz version for even cheaper if you didn't give a fuck about the automatic movement or whatever. But
Yeah.
I would absolutely encourage you to try it. I had this watch for a while. I sold it in the Great Purge. I purged a lot of my watches recently. Not recently, it was a while back. I have a fucking terrible conception of time and the passage of time, which is ironic on a watch podcast. But every now and then I think about grabbing it again. Maybe a different one. But every now and then it enters my mind.
You should get the two-tone. You should get the
there
two-tone.
is like a there's a bluesy. There's like a bluesy version. The problem is it's very fun, but I don't know if I like the blue that's on the Invicta bluesy. It's almost like a purple, or at least it looks like that in photos. Yeah, let's pull it up.
Let's see.
Like the blue doesn't look quite right. I don't know. I mean, okay, well, quite right implies not like the original, which I shouldn't care about, but I think aesthetically, I just don't know if I like it. Yeah, fourth one in.
Quartz.
I mean, it looks pretty good, actually.
It does look pretty good.
It does look pretty.
Maybe you saw actual real photos. Let's see if it's kind of purpley. No, it's not the right one.
That's not even the right one.
It's a little purpley. Good. It's a little purplish here.
It might be the crystal.
Yeah.
Or something. You know? So I don't know. Maybe I'll get this one. I don't know. They used to do Disney versions of Invicta watches. Hashtag shout out to last episode, 280. Go and check it out. We talked about the Mickey Mouse character watch, but then also just like the idea of a Disney franchise watch. They used to do Disney versions of these watches. I can't remember if they had a Mickey two-tone. Well, that was loud in my earphones.
Yeah, sorry.
You're okay. If there's a Mickey two-tone Invicta, that might be tempting. Actually, now that I'm talking out loud, that might actually exist.
I like this. Let's see, Invicta. Now we're just shopping.
Now we're just two cool dudes shopping for fake Rolexes.
Oh, I'm not seeing it here.
Not seeing it. It might all be gone, or I gotta find it like on eBay Philippines or something like that. Don't buy anything from eBay Philippines unless you know what you're doing.
No, there's nothing here. Okay. But I know I know that I've seen what you're talking about for sure.
Yeah. But so I no conversation, in my opinion, about the shitter watch can occur without talking about my love of the Invicta Pro Diver. So just want to put that out there.
I think you've even said that for people that you might encounter, like if the little Seiko SNK is not their thing, if it's a person that says like, I want a nice watch or a nice looking watch, yeah, I think it's totally acceptable to say like, hey, pick up one of these Invictas, especially if you're curious about, say it's your first mechanical watch and I mean, that NH movement is a great first movement to experience in the world of mechanical watch. It's a Honda Civic underneath that dial, you know?
You can get it for a great price compared to what other brands might charge you. I still don't know how they do it. I mean, they must be buying these things in huge quantities. I don't know.
I think people also don't like some of the marketing where every Invicta ad you see is like, get it now for 80% off original price. Yeah. That, you know, so and so, whatever.
We have to have a quick conversation around Invicta's pricing model. Yes, that is a huge source of a lot of the ire that folks have for the brand. You know, something will MSRP be $1,000, but you can get it now at 95% discount for the sweet. I'm bad at math of, I don't know, $20. And so like in your mind, you're like, holy fuck, I can't pass this up. I'd be a fool to not do this deal. Yeah. And people who don't know Invicta and that stupid thing, they'll fall for it. People who do know, it just makes them roll their eyes. And you almost get judgy of people who fall for it. You know what I mean? Look at this idiot walking into a bear trap. What a dick. It's like, fuck, he doesn't know. You just bought a watch you thought was cool.
He's just a bear.
He's just a bear. Maybe he's just a bear. I don't know. So, but no, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, that's another reason why people hate Invicta. The marketing practices are a little sleazy, a little scummy.
Yeah, I like this. We had some good contenders out here. I'm still curious about that weird moon phase thing. I should try to use it to plant crops or something and see if it works
on your land.
On my land, right? On my windowsill.
I mean, I think that's as much of a moon phase as the Orient sun and moon, which is not actually a moon phase. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's technically a moon phase complication. I could be wrong, but
I think it's just a 24-hour indicator
on the Orient sun and moon. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, which could be the whole thing on that watch. Now
that's what I'm thinking. That would be my best guess. I'm not opposed to cracking open TBWS coffers to get one in for a video review. I'll do it. I'll do it all day long, man. I'll do it.
I might leave that ball in your court.
Yeah, man. I gotta pick up my my orological crusade of reviewing shitty Amazon watches, or just, crappy watches. I did that Fossil watch. I did that Vincero. There's another one that I'm free. I did the Michael Kors watch. Remember the Michael Kors? Weird Datejust style chronograph thing.
Yeah. That has been your thing. I forgot.
I could do it on this. I'm not opposed to it.
You should wear it to like a nice kind of suit and tie event.
You know what's really funny? If I do that, I know I'll get compliments because it looks good. It looks good if people don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's my takeaway from this. Don't worry about it. If you want to wear something nice looking every once in a while, trying to find something that looks nice for not a lot is not a bad thing. And there are a lot of great shitters that do it.
That's a great point. There's nothing wrong with finding something that looks nice for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Why would that be wrong? That's insane.
Yeah.
But it's funny because sometimes people will do those mental gymnastics, like, especially when you break the $1,000 mark. There's this weird impetus to be like, okay, what is a nice looking watch for over $1,000 that I can get? Why does it need to be over $1,000? Oh, well, because I graduated. I'm not going to 4th grade math. I'm going to 5th grade math now. It's like,
yeah.
And I'm saying it because I've done that before. Like, I've totally done that bullshit before.
You can get the Benyar instead of the whatever, and put your kid through college. I don't know.
Yeah, put your kid through college. I don't know. Whatever buy a car. I have no fucking idea. But yeah, no, I think that's a great way to sum up. To sum up the idea of the shitter watch, there's nothing wrong with buying a watch that looks good for not a lot of money. You should all be kinder to yourselves and your wallets.
It's true.
That's true. Well, let's do this. Let us know at home your thoughts on the idea of a shitter watch. I've met collectors who knowingly and exclusively get shitter watches. You know what I mean? And I envy them. They sit under a Bodhi tree and they've attained a level of nirvana that I can only be envious of. Like, how do you exist?
Yeah, they don't care what their Instagram comments look like. Yeah. Whatever.
They just buy things that are fun. I have a whole collection of shitter watches. Like, teach me your way.
I posted the Benyar, and I think the caption was "Made you look" or something.
I remember that.
And then somebody commented like, "No, you didn't."
Whatever. Fuck you. Yes, I did. You're just mad because I got you.
Yeah.
But let us know your thoughts.
They don't care about the comments.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts on the show. Let us know your thoughts on the idea of shitter watches, and share your picks. What do you think is a great shitter watch that's just fun? Or something that is better than what folks give it credit for, that fits in this world. And across all pricing tiers, it doesn't really matter. Like I said before at the beginning of the show, the idea of a shitter watch is relative, truthfully.
You might have something that you love that the larger watch community thinks is.
I know both you and I are very have great affection for this watch, but some people see it as a shitter watch. Those quartz Tag Heuer Formula Ones for like $900, $1,000. Those things are cool as shit.
I'll wear that all day. But
those things are super cool. People
Tag Heuer could have its own episode on like how that brand doesn't need to be, redeemed in some way as like a good thing to collect or whatever.
Yeah. So
quartz tag all day long.
All day long. Yeah, fuck yeah. So let us know your thoughts on the show. Comment on YouTube here. You can hit us up over email, tbws.contact@gmail.com. You can go and hit us up on Instagram as well. Honestly, of your options, I would just go and leave us a comment on YouTube where the show also posts and everything like that. But looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts. Michael, is it that sad time? It's dinner time here on the East Coast.
Yeah, it is. You gotta get cooking.
I gotta get cooking. By cooking, I mean we're gonna have chips and melted cheese for dinner. That's gonna be our dinner. That's how I'm gonna feed my family tonight.
Yeah, that's. That sounds good. Some places will charge you $30 for that.
If I'm feeling fancy, I might pour a can of beans on top, just like lukewarm pantry beans, and then just like kind of see where the night takes us.
We can talk about canned beans. I got some. I have some recipes for you.
# bullets and beans. But I think it's that sad time, Michael. Do you want to start the closeout, and then I'll tuck the kids in?
Let's do it. Thank you for listening, guys. My name is Mike.
And this is Kaz. You have been listening to Two Broke Watch Snobs. Later.